Welcome into another Sunday night.
Hi.
Hey, it's Sunday night here at How We Cruise. This is what we do. If this is your first time here, I'm Julie. This is Brian. No,
What are you doing?
I don't know. I messed it up. I'm Brian.
I'm Julie.
I'm
This is
Brian.
Brian.
This is Julie. It was a late night last night.
We had a really busy weekend.
Yeah, we did have a very busy weekend.
It was a
lot of fun,
late night last night. It was a late night the night before. Yeah, and now it's another late night. So thanks for joining us late, guys, because we come on late because we are late people.
No, because we're parents and we don't sleep. So
I'm the night owl. You are the early bird.
Very true. This is very true.
Unless we're on a cruise. This is funny. Unless we're on a cruise, I'm the early bird.
Backwards.
Yeah, I knew the night owl. I mean, we're both night owls, but.
So
anyway.
I'm on vacation when we're on vacation. And when we're home, Julie's on vacation.
How does that eat? How do you figure? Okay, back me up here, people. Help me out.
Were you on a vacation? How many cruises did you book today?
He just said we have 3 kids. While we're home, I'm on vacation. Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm just gonna leave it there. I will leave it for you guys to support me in the chat. That's all I'm gonna do.
Well, the gang's all here. Hey, everybody. Mom's here. Hello, Mom. How are you?
Mom's got me. I know it.
Mom's here. Mom's not delivering goats this week, so sorry to hear the one didn't make it, but a lot of new goats. Katie and Libby got to play with their goats up there.
Yeah. Do you have any pictures?
Do I have? No, I do not keep pictures of goats. I have
of Katie and Libby. There was one on Facebook. I can share it to our community group.
Kathy Curry is here. Shane is here. Hello. Nice to see you guys. Wendy is here. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. This guy Brian's here. Lee is here. Hello. How are you? Hello, Mary Ellen.
You hate when I do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Because you can't really. I guess you kind of can see it a little bit.
Yeah, you can see it pretty good. That's Katie and Libby holding the baby goats. Aren't they cute? There and the girls are matching as well. So I'm trying to say hello to everybody. You verbally say hello. I'm typing to say hello.
I do. It's just we used to do the thing where we click on everybody's name and put them on the screen, and it got so I didn't want to miss anybody. So it's a blanket hello to everyone. And as I see you come in, I try to catch you. When I see Roger and Scotty jump in, I'll say hello. When I see Lance, hey Lance, how are you? So I think it's never our intention to miss anybody.
No, never.
But Lance, we're talking about
and if we miss you, tonight. Just in all caps, shout out.
Yes.
Put it in the chat and we will say hello.
And of course, if you have questions, always put them in the chat. If you want to know about something we have coming up, put it in the chat. We run these things because we have some stuff that we want to talk about, but we want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So if there's something you want to talk about, put it in the chat. We'll talk about it. Like Matt and Tiff are here now. Maybe they want to talk about something. So maybe just put it in the chat. We'll talk about it. But anyway, so tonight it was a busy week. It was a very busy week. I feel like we say that every week now.
We're always busy, but so is everybody else. Yes. You guys know it. You know what your mom was. Can I say? Or do you want to say?
What?
You were talking about it, but.
What?
So on Friday, Brian graduated 8th grade.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, we had a nice little graduation at the school. They had the stage beautifully done. And 23 kids in his class. And what remarkable kids, man.
23 or 24, something like that. Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
Little 20.
Great group of kids. Small class, but they're all moving on to high school. So they do have one more day of school. They graduated on Friday.
It's so weird. They graduated Friday, but they go to school tomorrow.
Well, it just worked out that way this year because they have graduation the day before the last day. Tomorrow is field day. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, just so you know. So tomorrow is field day for 7th grade and under. The 7th graders help all the younger kids. They all have a great field day. They have fun. But the 8th graders go on a nice little trip. Another trip. They've already had their field trips over everything, but they don't even go to school. They go have fun. So it's okay. School's done. School's out.
Keep talking. I have to fix some stuff. Keep talking.
Okay. I'll fix. Yeah. I'll keep talking. I've never had a problem with that. So yeah, so then last night, I know last week we did mention Skeggy's was having Howl at the Moon there. We did make our way over there. We weren't sure we were going to be able to make it. Wow. Oh.
Hold on. It's
okay. Oh boy.
It's okay.
Okay. My screen just went blank.
No,
I
told you I'm fixing stuff.
Okay.
I have.
I'll keep talking.
We're glitching a little bit, but I know why.
So so we went down to Skeggy's in Easton, PA, and it was packed. It was sold out, and there was 4 musicians, and they rotated all from Howl at the Moon, and they rotated, and they did a really great job. The music was great. There was people dancing. There was people singing. There's people requesting songs left and right. So we had fun with that. I mean, if I would have, I didn't even think we should have shared your video. Brian probably wouldn't. He doesn't want me to share it.
All right. Did we stop glitching, guys? Are we better now?
Just dancing.
Larry, did we stop glitching? Travel Cake, did we stop glitching? Are we good now? They want to know which Brian graduated 8th grade. It's me. I finally graduated 8th grade. It took a while. But it's I was really proud of myself.
Yeah, Brian
Jr.
Brian Jr.
Brian made it.
And
Mom says better now. See, I knew I could fix it. Thanks, Mom.
All right, good. Yeah, so graduation, Skeggy's, you got the pool clear. Anybody who follows Brian's pool
one day
chemistry,
after the party.
Well, it was clear. It was just cloudy. Today it's crystal. Figure. But anyway. So yeah, and then today was just catching up, straightening up. He was playing with friends. The boys were just lounging because everybody had sleepovers. They were sleeping at grandma and granddad's, and oh boy. So,
hey Sean, hey Sharon, hey Jamie, hey guys, nice to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Happy Sunday.
Lance said he had his money on me, on the other one. So there we go. I would have bet on Bry Jr. too. Always bet on Bry. Let's see. Sharon says, can you provide a link to Brian's pool YouTube channel? Well, hold on a second. It's not a pool YouTube channel.
He does not have a YouTube channel, although that's a great idea. But he does have a little bit of a following on his Facebook page. Have you been posting on it this year? Because I feel like you've gotten away from it a little bit. The previous years you've done it a lot.
If you'd like to join the Pool Chemistry Geeks Facebook group, we'll just put that in the chat.
This is Brian's page.
This is real.
It's real.
It's real. So this is the hold on. We'll just
I think, and then on your personal page and stuff too, people regularly look forward to your pool posts.
This is true. I get some nasty messages when I don't post, so I try to do the best that I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's for all your pool chemistry tips. For those of you who really, really, really loved and absolutely miss high school chemistry, go on over and join that group. And I think I just lost about 30 friends on Facebook. So, but that's cool.
I'm not sure. Between your pool and John's grass.
I know. Well, here's the thing. If we were to combine our pool with John's grass, I think the pool chemicals might make John very upset. So we're not going to do that. Lance, how is your CYA levels? They're very low, because we just got everything set. So now we put the stabilizer in and then we're good for the summer. Don't get me started on this, guys, because then we won't get to our luxury cruise stuff until like 10:30. And I know you guys all have work tomorrow. So Wendy says, should I join even if I don't have a pool? Well, sure. Just jump on in.
Oh yeah. There's no, it's not limited.
Jump on in.
I see what you did there.
All right. Well,
Dad jokes, listen, they're real.
So we talked about it tonight. We said, what are we going to talk about? Because we've got 34 days until this little guy right here, where we're going to be heading down to Florida to board the Carnival Sunrise with a bunch of really good friends and a bunch of you here in the chat. And we're going to be heading down to Nassau, Half Moon Key, and Grand Turk, along with the illustrious Sharon at Sea Travel.
You didn't yell at me. I wasn't muted.
You were muted.
Well, this was muted, but not my.
But that doesn't matter. That's only one. I
know.
muted it before.
You muted it. Yeah, but
I did it before when you were making your martini. But so anyway,
I'm still drinking my seltzer. Not sponsored, bubbly, non-alcoholic. But this is a really good one. Blue pomegranate.
But yeah, so we got 34 days until this guy. Kathy says she's got 147 and 299. So that means we've got 147 also until we get to this guy right here, the MSC Meraviglia out of Brooklyn. So if you haven't booked either one of those guys yet, we will find a way to find room for you because we want you all to come with us. Because they're just so much more fun when everybody's with us. So, but neither one. But we wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about these. I wanted to talk about these group cruises coming up. But we said, you know what? We still got a little bit more to talk about how we fared. And I know it's been a big debate topic out there. A big question in the community: did I get to wear my Hey Dudes on Silversea? And tonight you're going to find out. You're going to find out if I wore the Hey Dudes on Silversea.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about, I don't know, anyone out there. We know, I know Lance is in the chat. Anybody else, have you done a luxury cruise? Not necessarily, have you done one? Do you want to do one? Let us know. Because we experienced it. We're normally mainstream. We're normally on
mass market cruising, non-denominational market cruisers.
Yes, this is true. But we had the opportunity and we definitely took it and got to experience a luxury cruise. So we wanted to talk a bit about the differences, what we really did experience, how they're different, I guess. And
so really I'm going to flip back. You guys all pick on me and call me the spreadsheet guy, right? So I'll say, everybody says, oh, this line's more expensive or that line's more expensive or this or that or the other thing, right? And I've done the math. And they all, in the same kind of space, work out pretty similar. When you're talking Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, MSC, they ballpark kind of in the same budget, right? So if you like one line a little bit more, it's Ford versus Chevy versus Dodge, right? They all work out in the same, when you're buying all the same things, right? When you're buying your drink package and your Wi-Fi and all this other stuff like excursions, whatever. Anyway, so it comes down to now, when you're talking about an ultra luxury cruise, is the price point really that far off? And I'll tell you, when you look at, what? Go ahead.
Well, I was just to say there's a lot of factors in that because it depends on where you're going, where you're sailing from, how long the itinerary is, how old or new the ship is, what line you're on. So it's the same thing. So
we sailed on Silversea Silver Ray, which is Silversea's
their newest ship.
It's their newest ship in the
Nova class. It's their biggest ship,
which is crazy to me
because it's the smallest ship that we have ever sailed on. It held 750 passengers and then like 500 crew.
All right, so we have a question, and we'll start with Shayna's question. All right, Shayna's question is, having done a luxury cruise, do you think the ship within a ship concepts would give the same feel? Or are they different being a larger ship than the luxury? So I'm going to tell you.
I'll let you answer and then I'll answer.
Well, we have a lot of friends that, well, not a lot of friends that are really big on like MSC's Yacht Club. A lot of friends that cruise in suites and things like that. And I'll tell you, the way they describe those ship within a ship concepts, I feel like it's got a lot of the same perks, but I don't think it's the same vibe, because what we were on is the whole ship, right? So you had, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. You look like you want to say something.
Well, I'm just waiting for you to finish.
Okay,
You're talking a lot tonight.
Go ahead.
Usually you yell at me because I talk too much. Anyway, I was going to say it really depends on, I think, different components. I think that you can get some of the same vibes within a ship. But I definitely think that they're different because, if you're never, we have friends that love the ship within a ship. And they never, when they're in yacht club, they don't want to leave yacht club. They want to stay in yacht club. And I guess in that concept and in that, again, it's like the service and the waiting on and the perks that you get, they're going to be in the same ballpark maybe. But this was an experience. I'm just going to tell you, it was different. It was very, very different because everywhere you go, the entire time on the ship, off the ship, excursions, all the servers. We got to know all the crew like we were family. I've never felt so, and we love the crew on every ship we go on. We talk, we meet, we really, you gravitate towards certain crew members that you meet. But on this ship, we had a huge amount of crew, and they worked in multiple venues. They worked in multiple places, and they were servers in multiple places. And you saw them all the time. And, you felt like you were visiting somebody's home. I didn't feel like a passenger. I actually put this in a survey to them and said that we were treated like we were part of their family and we were guests in their home. Wouldn't you say? So I don't think you get that level on the ship within the ship concept. So that's my take.
Well, I mean, you're right. We saw so many crew. We'd see them for breakfast and we'd see them for lunch. We'll get there.
Okay.
You yell at me for jumping ahead.
I'm Speedy Gonzalez.
So I mean,
I need to slow down with my martini.
I would say so.
Got to get over the seltzer.
One of the things that I personally think about ship within a ship concept, though, is on the larger ships, the larger lines, you're gonna have some top-notch entertainment. You're gonna have a Broadway style show, and when you're in that ship within a ship concept, you can leave that sweet neighborhood, that yacht club, that area, that ship within a ship, and go down and see a major production, a major show. Now, I'll just share this here. Let's see. So I was going to do this a little differently tonight. So let's see if I can share some of this here.
I do have some questions too that I want to go through. So
this here, just to give you, this is to give you a little sample. This is the main entertainment. Same for dancers, same for singers, pretty much everything. They were great. They were fantastic.
I love it.
But I mean, they were great.
They were fantastic.
They were fantastic.
That's only one little clip, but I really enjoyed them in every. And they played in multiple venues, and they were all over the place and did kinds of things.
But it's still, in my opinion, it was not The Wizard of Oz. It was not Back to the Future. It was not Six.
Okay.
It was not.
How about this though? I didn't like Cats, right? I didn't like it, but I thought their performers were absolutely amazing. I appreciated their talent. I think on the cruise that we were just on, the performers were even next level. They were so talented and so good. I just really enjoyed watching them. So I do think that it just wasn't just because it wasn't a Broadway show doesn't mean that I mean they were Broadway performers. They were also talent. They were and won many contests. All kinds. Was it?
So yeah, the one singer
not Got Talent.
South Africa.
South Africa's Got Talent. She won.
She was finalist.
Anyway, so can we go back a little bit and just talk about embarkation, first impressions? I mean, what's the first thing? What's the first thing that you guys do when you board a cruise? The first thing that we do is we get on. We usually can't get to our cabins yet. We'll go. We always usually grab our cheers cocktail. We say we're here, we're on, and then we usually grab a bite to eat. This wasn't much different, except when I say no lines, and when I say from getting out of the taxi at the port to getting on the ship was less than 10 minutes. I'm not exaggerating in the least. It maybe was less than 5. We got out of the taxi. There you go.
It was a little champagne instead of a beer.
We got out of the taxi and they were greeting us with warm towels and to wash our hands and cocktails and caviar as we boarded the ship. And then we went off and we explored and we went and got lunch just like any other cruise. And I think that we were actually maybe, I don't want to say in the minority, but a lot of people didn't go exploring as much as we did. We saw some people exploring, but we wanted to see everything. So we walked around a lot. And like any other cruise, we saw a lot of the same people. You always bump into and run into the same people. Birds of a feather.
Well, there was another question here, so let's jump to that. Oops, where'd it go? Was there a casino, and if so, how often was it open?
It's one of the first places we checked out as well. We wanted to see what it was.
Well,
do you have a picture?
I'm not prepared. No, you're gonna have to watch the vlogs to see the casino. But the casino, it was. I mean, maybe if you were to look at percentage of the ship coverage compared to like a larger ship, it might have made sense. But you had a total of, I think, what was it, 10 or 11 slot machines, a blackjack table, and a roulette wheel. And it was not open very often. But yeah, there was I guess you could call it a casino, but it was there. When it was open, the slot machines were not super crowded. The blackjack table always had people around it. And I'd say the roulette wheel had...
I want to encourage everybody to watch the vlogs as they come out, but I did just send that. I don't know if you can share it or not. I don't know if it'll work because I know you said it'll lag.
I cannot. No. I have stuff prepped. Yeah. No, it was not.
All right. Sorry, guys.
It was not. Larry says, "What? This is actually."
You do want to see what the casino looked like, though. I'm just going to leave it at that.
This is actually a great question. So, I was a little concerned, and I was talking to some coworkers before I left, and I explained where we were going, and they said, "What are you kidding me? You're probably going to have like Pappy Van Winkle." Well, there was no Pappy. Pappy did not cruise with us. But I walked up to the bar on the first day, and I said, what kind of bourbon do you have? And the guy's like, well, we don't get a lot of bourbon orders. Let me see what I have. And he pulls out a bottle of Woodford, and he's like, would this work? And I'm like, yeah, Woodford will work. That's great. He goes, well, hold on, let me see what else I have. And he says, pulls way in the back. He pulls out a bottle of Buffalo Trace. He goes, oh, I got Buffalo Trace. How about that? And I said, yeah, that'll work. I'll have a Buffalo Trace. He goes, hold on, I got one more. Let me see if this one suits your fancy. And he pulls out the Eagle Rare. I said,
that's one of your favorites.
I said, wait, hold on. Is that an upcharge or is that included? He says, sir, everything's included.
It's true.
I said, I would like one Eagle Rare, please. And when you see that one empty, just give me another one.
I was looking to see the dogs at our feet.
I think by the second port, they had to pick up more. But yeah, that was good. Hello, Julie. Nice to see you.
Hello. You make a good point, though. On cruises like this, everything is included. Everything, even the base package. Every cabin is the same. Well, there are upcharge cabins. You can get bigger suites, whatever. Mm-hmm. But the most standard regular cabin is a beautiful veranda balcony, very, very spacious, very, very large, full-sized bathroom. The balconies were big. I mean, that was beautiful. So it just, the first impressions were, it was just gorgeous. Every line, I think I said this before, every line was crisp and clean, and we really liked it. I don't know, did anybody have anything to say about what the first thing they do on their cruises? Because I asked that question, but no, you're better with the comments.
We're glitching again. That's why. So I'm trying to fix that. So
okay.
There we go. Sorry. Hopefully that better.
So.
No, Larry, the Eagle Rare did not last one night, but they definitely. So I'll say this: they made sure they had Eagle Rare, and that's something that I'm going to say about this cruise. So on the first night that we went to go sit down at dinner, we walked in and we just went to the main dining room called the Atlantide, and I looked around and I said, you know what? It doesn't look that crowded. I said, do you guys happen to have a table by the window? And they looked so upset that they had to say no. They had no table by the window. And I'm like, that's okay. And they were so apologetic. And I'm like, really, it's okay. I just asked. Every night for the rest of the cruise, every time we walked into any restaurant anywhere on the ship, they were like,
yeah, we got you window. There was no lines for anything. There was no waiting. Everything was spacious. There was always a seat. There was only one time the entire cruise, and it was the most packed night was the last night, right? When they had the captain's thing in the theater. That was the only night there was standing room only. Every single time you always had a seat, whether it was a restaurant, whether it was a bar, whether it was a show, whether it was anything. So we talked about the butler a little bit. I don't know. The food was fantastic. The food was so good.
Well, so the topic tonight is how did we do as your typical mass market cruisers on an ultra luxury line? So let's talk about the food for a minute. How did we do with the food? Because we got a couple questions that we're gonna have to get to,
Okay.
but let's talk about the food for a minute. So every night, so every suite has a butler, right? And they would always offer to bring us, what do you call them? Canopies? Was it canopies? How do you say it? How do you say it? How do you say it? I don't know. I call them appetizers.
Please don't go back to our lives and stuff before we went on this cruise, and I couldn't pronounce any of the places that we were going because now I can. Canapé, I think. Right?
So,
Canapé.
But here, so there's a couple questions, and I promise we'll see. Oh, hello, Daniel. Hello. I think I said hi to Julie. So Lance said, Larry asked, how many bars did the ship have? So Larry, don't worry, we filmed them all for you. Was there 6?
I don't know if you can necessarily call it a bar crawl, but we still did our own bar crawl.
We tried.
We couldn't not experience. I mean, we visited every one, but we did go
regularly.
Through. We have a vlog coming out. I don't know exactly what we'll call it. We might not call it the Silversea bar crawl, but
we might. You never know. Depends on whether I get to name it or Julie does. So Lance says, what restaurants did you eat at? So we're talking about the food right now for a minute. So
to answer the question, though, I think there was 7. Was there 7 bars?
It depends on whether you count Arts Cafe.
Yeah, that was a bar. They were serving alcohol.
It was a coffee shop.
Well, it was also, but it had a bar. They had servers. They had a whole menu. Yes, it was a bar. So, yeah, there were 7. And they all had a different kind of feel, different kind of vibe. They were really fun, different. And again, they all had their own bartender and their own server. And you got to know, based on where you were, them very differently. So that was fun. Really liked it.
All right. So restaurants. What restaurants do we eat at? So the restaurant. So Atlantide and Salt were the 2 like main dining rooms, and Atlantide was your traditional main dining roomish thing, and Salt was more dependent upon the menus. Dependent upon
hold
your
on.
port.
Stop talking. Okay, so Atlantide was like their regular. You would call it the main dining room restaurant.
I think
Salt was also a main dining room restaurant. I mean, it was. You went to either one of them. The same as you would go to, they didn't require reservations. Both of them, you just walk up and you go in, and they'll seat you. Salt, though, stands for Sea and Land Taste, and all of their menu was always catered to the location or the destination that you were traveling to or were in. And the chef would even get off the ship and go get local ingredients and literally make this handcrafted menu from locally sourced ingredients to where you were. So that was really cool. I loved it and the menu matched exactly, also the flavor of, obviously, of the country or the destination.
So,
other than that, there was the grill that was outdoor. That was al fresco. It didn't require as nice of a dress. Like, you did have to wear slacks. You did have to wear a nice, clean shirt. You didn't have to have a jacket unless it was formal night and you were on an indoor venue.
So that's the grill.
Yeah, that's us sitting in the grill. That actually we were sitting it was partially covered, but we were sitting where it was not covered right there. And I have another. It's also where the pizza place was.
Here, hold on. This is from the grill also.
Okay.
There we go. Couple clicks there. Woo-hoo.
Oh, yep. That's the hot stone. We were cooking on the hot stone. So that's the pizza from the pizza place. How you can say it?
Speccanopoli.
Yeah, Speccanopoli is their pizza place. It's really good pizza. It's very, very good pizza.
It's very good.
They had all kinds of flavors. I have pictures in the menus, and you'll see that in vlogs and pictures that we're posting. But the hot stone cooking was fantastic. You could get prawns, you could get steak, you could get filet, you could get. Did they have like a salmon or something that you could do on the hot stone as well? Yeah.
So this was my favorite restaurant on the ship. So that was my favorite. Steaks, and during the day I could even get my burger there. So that was
at night, but that required a reservation. There was no upcharge. It was just a reservation. Mm-hmm. So the only 2 upcharge venues for dining at night were the
La Dame,
La Dame, which is the very upscale French restaurant. We did not eat there. It was $180 a night. They did have one night where they offered per person. They did have one night where they offered they did it with a wine pairing, and it was very nice. And that wasn't even the chef's table. There was a chef's table as well. That also was an upcharge.
And keisaki.
And kasaki. That is the hibachi Japanese restaurant. So, or was it hibachi, or was it just Japanese?
No, it was not hibachi.
Sorry, it was not hibachi. They had hibachi, but they didn't cook in front of you. It was just Japanese. But you could eat at kaisaki for free for lunch any of the days. So they had a lunch menu. It was always different than the dinner menu. We never ate in either one of those. Not even, I wanted to eat in kaisaki for lunch, but we didn't, because there were so many other things to do and see and places to eat. We just didn't get there. And I don't feel that I messed out.
Hello, Tony. Hello, Fields.
I will say this. We talked about the casino earlier. Mm-hmm. Daniel and Nancy did get a little sneak peek of the casino. I might have shared it with them after our live last week.
What about, so tell us a little bit about Silver Note.
So that's what I was going to talk about next. Okay. Yeah, so Silver Note was not an upcharge, but it was very highly sought after and very difficult to get a reservation. It's the quickest one to kind of like fill up and not be able to. We did get into it. Mm-hmm. We were there on Tuesday night.
We had to knock over this old lady, but we got in.
No, we didn't. But it was very nice. It was set up kind of like an old, I want to say like speakeasy-ish. Like there's a piano player and a bar singer, and really, it's just it encouraged dinner and dancing. I didn't see
anybody dance.
I've heard a lot of people say that a lot of people dance a lot of times. I was underwhelmed.
It wasn't my favorite. I didn't love.
Spoiler alert for when you see anything.
You guys know I love my pizza. I love my burgers. I love my chicken nuggets. So the menu there was not exactly.
It wasn't
up
even
my
a menu.
alley.
I was expecting more, and I don't know what it was. I thought of. I don't know. It was underwhelming to me, and if I were there again, I wouldn't be upset if I missed it, which is funny because it is so highly sought after. Although it was a fun experience, and I'm glad we did it.
Lance says if you like sushi, you missed out on the kaisaki lunch.
I did have plenty of their sushi though on the ship. I just didn't have it in kaisaki.
All right, well, let's go back to the bars for a minute, because we
skipped over all of them. We said that there were 7, and then you went right on to restaurants.
We were already talking about food when they brought it up. So now let's go back to the bars. Hi, did I say hi to Tony? Hi, Tony. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. Do you have a drone over our house right now? Are you filming another angle?
So Lance said the same for him on Silver Note. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Amanda. How are you? Thanks for joining us. So let's talk about the bars. Let's talk about.
Since we're talking about the bars, I think Larry asked you what you're drinking tonight. Did you share that?
Tonight we're drinking Buffalo Trace.
You got Buffalo Trace?
Yeah, we are drinking. We're drinking a little Buffalo Trace. Not sponsored, but Buffalo Trace. If you're watching, we're willing to help you rebuild after your flooding. So,
well, cheers! Because tonight I have something a little different. I normally don't do the chocolate martini. Sometimes once in a while on the ship, but tonight I have a nice chocolate martini. So, a little different, a little desserty.
So let's do this. Let's see here. We're going to do.
Cheers. Did I say cheers to all of you? I said cheers to you, Bri, but cheers to all of you. And thank you for being in. We love you all. No, so the bars. Dusk was at the after the ship. It was beautiful. The saxophone player played out there a lot at night during like the pre-dinner and the evening.
So this was the downstairs bar called The Shelter. This was right outside of the main dining rooms, and we would always stop there and see Hussein before we went into dinner.
It was kind of, it was outside the dining rooms at Lantide and Salt Kitchen, but it was also like downstairs of like what you would call the atrium of the ship. So it was kind of like an atrium bar. They had a couple events during the day there, but it was only open in the evening as a bar.
That was when that was where they had the floral arranging class.
Listen, that was packed. It was standing room only.
I know.
I wanted to go down to it, and I looked and saw how many people were there. And because what they were doing is they were teaching some flower arranging, and people were making their own bouquets, and then they could take those bouquets back to their rooms. And they were beautiful, big, gorgeous flower bouquets. I took floriculture actually in high school. One semester of floriculture.
Remember these guys, Julie?
I do. But anyway, so I don't know. Anyway, I know the basics of making a bouquet. So but it was nice. Yes. So we got Johnny, Joey, and Raymond.
Yeah, our buddies from the Dolce Vita bar. This was the piano bar. You know, sometimes they had the violinist in there. A lot of times Derek was in there playing the piano.
No. The violinist was down in the shelter.
Before dinner.
No.
I have video. I was going to share it. It's actually it's one of my videos.
Anyway, this is where the piano player was playing. Derek was on our cruise. He was awesome. But this is like also the bar that was kind of the first one that you like outside of the theater. So these were the guys. It was definitely a place to be at night. There was like kind of two real kind of like popular places at night. One you would call more of, I can't call it the club, but
oh, we got video. I mean,
that's where you're gonna see the DJ. Well, what videos are you playing?
I don't know. Let's see. Hold on. Do I have a video of the? Hold on. I got the.
Okay.
Oh, here we got Derek.
So you guys can see there's plenty of seating. I mean, it was like that most of the time. I mean, at night it would kind of fill up a little bit more. It didn't feel empty, but yeah, there's Derek playing. That was the bar. Nice little shot there.
So the question, dress code question. Did you feel overdressed, underdressed, or just right for most occasions?
Great question.
Listen, are we referring to the Hey Dudes? They're trying to get an answer on me out of the Hey Dudes before the end of the stream.
Go for it.
I was trying to hold off for the end so people stayed in. I mean, that was my goal.
I'm sure they're staying and waiting.
I'll tell you later.
Hey Dudes. Anyway,
so I got to wear my Hey Dudes one night.
I would like to do a video solely on this on
my Hey Dudes.
I would have packed differently, but I felt completely and totally appropriate and prepared and had all the right attire. I had dresses for the evenings, and I had regular clothes for the day. We had our bathing suits and our cover-ups, and we had our walking sneakers, and we had our, I think dress code was, I brought jeans and never wore them, but I could have, in the evenings, no, they actually requested, and it was on your thing, on your paper every day. They requested that in the evenings after 6 p.m. that nobody wear.
They made me wear
jeans
pants.
Or like flip-flops. So anyway,
Larry wants to know, will Jamie feel at home in shorts and flip-flops?
During the day.
So yeah, during the day.
And even if at night, if you were like out on the deck for sure.
Yeah. So most of the time it was during the day, shorts, t-shirts, sneakers. But in the evenings, it definitely was.
People got dressed.
Collar shirts, long pants. Mm-hmm. Some of the restaurants required a jacket, not all.
The Dom's the only one that I think required a jacket.
On formal night.
On formal night, they all required, if they were indoor, required a jacket. So that means the grill did not require a jacket. And the pizza place didn't require a jacket.
Right. All right. So we jumped off of bars. We were on bars for a second, then we got off of bars. How about the Panorama Lounge? Which is the Panorama
So
Lounge?
that's the club.
The club. Here, hold on. Oh, hold on.
Nope, so wrong one. That was also where they had the trivia. It was where they had Name That Tune. It was where they did Bingo. Our DJ was Rio. He was fantastic. We loved Rio. So we got to talk to him a lot. That's the other thing. I talked about in the beginning of this. We got to talk to and meet like a lot of the crew. I mean, we really got to know the crew. Like you could talk to them every single day, whether it was the cruise director or it was, the DJ or it was.
We met the captain.
The captain multiple times was out and about shaking hands with everybody. So, I mean, that was really cool. It was just, you really felt like you were in somebody's home and you were a guest.
And every cruise that we've ever been on, everybody meets crew and crew remember you by name. And when they see you on the ship, they, oh, hello, how are you? And they call you by name. The difference with this ship was there was 700 passengers. There was 500 crew. And of all the crew that we saw, I think we knew all the server, all the bar servers, all the waiters, all the entertainment staff. We knew, we knew all of them, and they knew us. And we'd see them when we took the tenders into port. we'd see the crew sitting in the back of the tender, and there were a couple times we were walking through the different ports and ran into crew members and hung out with them.
Larry has a very important question. Will the Sunrise require a jacket?
I am still shopping for the jacket that I will be wearing. And Jamie, we're going to discuss this because
there are only 2 jackets that we will accept on the Sunrise, and it either has to have
I'm still shopping. You'll
personality, see. Or, I mean, I don't know.
I'm still shopping.
I guess I'll accept a smoking jacket for Cigars Under the Stars. I don't know.
The sports jacket of your favorite sports team. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Are you wearing the 1980s starter jacket? Is that with the little S on the front? I remember the two. Who had a starter jacket? Who did? I didn't. I wasn't allowed to.
I want to ask this question, but I'm gonna wait. That could be a wrap-up question. This one, but
a straight jacket. We might need a few of those after the Sunrise. that might be happening. So Shayna says, being that it was a med cruise.
Hold on. I'm just gonna throw this in there. I once saw, how people post on like the Facebook groups and whatever pictures. Somebody once posted a straight jacket as one of the confiscated items on the naughty table. I'm not kidding you. I saw it as a post or whatever. So don't bring a straight jacket, I guess. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Shayna.
Shayna says, being that it was a Mediterranean cruise, was English still the primary language spoken on the ship? Absolutely.
Great question. Yes,
it was. There was
not off the ship.
Not off the ship. But they actually had an international hostess on the ship, and I tell you, I can't remember her name, but she was the hardest working lady on that ship. We saw her everywhere.
Yeah.
She was at the show. She was at people walking into dinner.
Yeah,
and I said to her one night, I'm like, you're everywhere. So
yeah.
But yeah, let's see. We did.
So things that we have, I just want, you can keep talking. Look for your comments and whatever, because I just want to say the boarding day vlog is about to be posted. Look for it in the next day or two. That's about done. And then we're going to do, I wasn't planning on, this was a long cruise, so it's not going to be a day by day, but it will be a couple days. Or, I'll definitely want to highlight some ports. We definitely want to do some live streams too, talking about the ports. So if there's a port that you want to hear about, if there's a destination that we were at that you want to hear about, we were in Italy, Monaco, France, and Spain for like a hot minute. But it was really, really cool. So watch for the vlogs coming out and you'll be able to see, definitely, we do have a ship tour. The room.
Lance says that's 2 years early.
You guys can pick on me all you want.
Hello, life is good today. Thank you for joining us.
So that, I don't know, that stuff is coming out, but you'll also get to see, I love how you have like your little clips ready of the ship, because seeing the ship is really cool. I didn't find a whole heck of a lot of content on like what people were doing on the ship during the day before we went. So I hope that when we put it out, people can find it useful. Because what I did find, I remember I kept telling myself, where is everybody? And then when we got to ship, we understood. I was like, yeah, where is everybody? But it never felt empty, and you never felt like
this is, I think, the most. This might be the most crowded that I remember seeing it. I think this is the video. Let me see if I have the right one here.
All right, what do you pull up? Now over here, this is the bar. Now this is also there, like where you're gonna find the customer service desk, and you're gonna find your next cruise desk, and you're gonna find your anything like that. The cruise director had an office there, and you could regularly walk by and see him working at his computer in his office, and the assistant cruise director, they shared an office, and it was right there in the lobby. So it was a great place to go get a snack, great place to go get like awesome cappuccino, cup of coffee, whatever. But there's lots of seats and they were always serving. So it was a bar.
You want to see my favorite part of that ship?
What?
This was my favorite, right here.
Okay, what's your favorite?
This is my Lido deck. Look at all those people.
There's the
Look, I could hardly find a chair.
Stop. Well, it's not fair because when you were filming right then and there was not a time when everybody's out. Because I will tell you, it did get pretty packed, and there were definitely always chairs available, but not the preferential chairs. Like people wanted to be either in the sun or they wanted to be just in the shade where it was a good spot or a good view. But there was always plenty of seating. And as soon as you were walking up to your chair, an attendant would come over and they'd lay your towel out for you, and they would ask you what they could bring you, and can I bring you some snacks? Can I bring you a drink? So that was really nice.
That was, I mean,
never had to fight for a chair.
Never.
And I never had to go get my towel.
Now, for those of you who don't know, our first, Pride of America was our first cruise together, right?
Yes.
So on Pride of America, there was a little bit of a chair incident.
This was
and
not
some lady
a chair hog situation.
It was a straight up theft.
Well, when you say
there should have been an investigation,
people automatically think chair hogs. So Ryan and I had been sitting out at the pool all day, and it was pretty crowded. There was a lot of people out there, but there was still, I guess there was no empty chairs. And we literally got up and walked over to the
bar.
The bar. We're gone for a few moments.
Less than 10 minutes.
Definitely less than 10 minutes. And I actually had my stuff, like more than just like whatever. It was like all of my stuff, everything, like our bag, more than a towel, like everything. Got up to the bar, came back within 10 minutes or less, and all of my stuff or your stuff was like thrown on the ground, and our chair was picked up and moved. And the lady sitting in front of us was like, it was her. And sure enough, she has her chair like pulled like all the way up next to her friend's catty corner, right next to the poolside. And we're like, can we have her chair back?
And she got all nasty about it. She got very
nasty.
And we're like, you know what? I promised Julie I wouldn't get into any fights on our honeymoon, so I let it go. That was a deck attendant went and got another chair. It was great.
The deck attendant was fantastic.
But I still laughed because the lady in the pool that saw the lady take the chair wasn't letting that go, and she yelled at her and she called security. And that lady that took my chair,
it wasn't us that made the fuss. It was the other people around us that were like, that wasn't right. She shouldn't have done that.
That lady is no longer allowed to sail with NCL.
so we hear. Anyway, that's our fun little story over there.
Yeah. So, but none of that on Silversea because there was plenty of chairs available at all times.
I have a question. Do you think that a cruise like this, because obviously this is a nice special occasion for us. This is not how if this didn't set a bar where we can't go back, although it definitely set a bar where I look forward to going back.
We'll be on the Sunrise in 34 days.
We're going to be on the Sunrise in 34 days.
And the Navigator in 50.
Do you think it's worth the price?
Well, that's kind of where I was going before.
I have a couple ways to answer this question. Is it worth the price?
So here's what I will say to that. We can't tell you the value of your dollar, but I will tell you this. If you're booking a suite, if you're booking a yacht club, if you're booking a suite neighborhood, if you're booking something like that, and when you're doing that, you're also purchasing your drink package and you're purchasing Wi-Fi.
You could say the same though too for like a mega ship like Icon or Star or something versus an older class, smaller ship that's going to be less expensive. So, I mean, there's all kinds of different scenarios.
But my point in saying that is if you're doing those things, you're not far off in a ballpark price range to go to an ultra luxury line. If you're purchasing all those things anyway, you're getting into the same neighborhood of price tag. So why not give it a try?
Give it a try. I will say this. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea because I think that, again, it's an experience. An amazing, depending on who you are. There was a different demographic on this ship. I mean, some people were saving up to go on this. And a lot of people, this is how they cruise. And most of the people that we met were not interested in, I remember MSC World Europa pulled up next to us, and everybody was
Every
like in awe.
person on our
It was in
ship.
awe. Everybody's like, oh, like all the passengers. But they also said, I don't want to go on that ship.
There were a lot of people.
The crew was like, I don't want to work on it. The passengers were like, I don't want to be with that many people, because that's clearly the difference here. The level of service and the number of people. I think that's the biggest difference. So
there were a lot of people on our ship that the Ray was the largest ship they'd ever been on.
They kept saying, this is such a big ship. And we're like, this is the smallest ship ever. So that was the biggest difference that I saw was that, it's just a different cruising experience. You're not going to feel like you're on
Lance says
a mass market cruise.
Lance says, I still say it wasn't stuffy. At least our experience wasn't. What would you say to that, Julie?
Well, I think everything is what you make of it. Did we see stuffy? Yes. I'm being honest. I'm calling it like it is.
I didn't like that lady.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm not going to get specific at all. But I
Ask
really
me
don't.
on our next cruise.
I have no certain things we'll only tell you in person. No, I don't know what you're talking about, but we didn't experience it at all. And I had to tell you, the crew was so super fantastic. I absolutely love the crew. We were never treated differently. Now I know what you're talking about. We were never treated differently. We were never like, I don't know. But we were definitely.
Hello, foodies.
I don't know what to call it. Talk to us, reach out, send us a message, join our Facebook community group, and come on a group cruise with us and sit around the piano bar or in the pub and ask us that question because, But we made some magnificent friends. We did kind of find like a group of people. We still always enjoy doing things on our own as well. So we did that.
Lance says, I agree. You see stuffy, but no one ever made us feel like it. That's pretty much what it was.
Nobody judged anybody. I mean, anybody like because everybody was just so into what they were doing.
That's true. There was a lot of
it's just like nobody cared.
There was a lot of self-focus. Sharon C says, did they have 24-hour soft serve ice cream cones? No.
But they did have 24-hour ice cream. You just had to order it to room service.
This is true.
But true story.
Lance says, my wife judged me.
I judged Brian every day.
Mine too, Lance. Mine too.
So I think that's one thing I would change. And I know that we had to be.
What? You went with? You wouldn't have gone without me. I don't go.
I'm saying one thing I would have changed is we loved having a butler. That was a fun experience as well.
Too.
But like I want to drop and go room service. I don't want my table set up every day. And they do listen to you and they will. And so I could have been firmer and be like, really don't, but they really want to set it up for you and things like that. And I'm like, just give me my tray at the door and I'm happy.
And there's some things too, is that, the crew really want to do the best they can for you. They want, and it's still their job and they still want a great review on their card and all that. And, when you talk about stuff like that, like the drop and go room service, like, they know it's their job. They know they're being watched. And, I feel like they want to do not only what their customers expect, but what their employer expects too. So I did feel like when we were like, no, that's okay. You don't have to do that. We'll take care. I can unpack my own suitcase. It's fine. I do feel like there was some nervous energy. So
I don't know. So the question with is it worth the price? It is if you want that experience, because it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
No,
it's just not
everybody.
Because it's there's no wobble.
There was no wobble.
Brian's still upset that he couldn't get the wobble.
And I asked Rio, and Rio used to work on Carnival, so I know he had it in his. I knew he had it in his repertoire.
But people are cutting a rug at night. I mean, everybody's up and dancing. Like the Panorama Lounge, man. Like it was at night. That's where people wanted to be. They wanted to be dancing, and it was a lot of fun.
I'll give you one super positive to about the venues. It was now we're on vacation, so we stay out late, right? And we were in that Panorama Lounge, and that place thinned out, and there was a small crowd of us that was still hanging around and ordering drinks. And at one point, I think it might have been on the second day, I felt like it was getting really late, and I thought I remembered seeing on the cruise planner that the Panorama Lounge closed at, I don't know, say midnight or whatever.
No, it just said till late.
Yeah,
it never gave you an answer, because they would close when everybody left.
I said to the bartender, I said, when do you guys leave? Like, when are we closed? And he goes, whenever you guys want to leave. And I was like, wait a minute. So are we keeping you guys from getting to bed and going to the crew bar right now?
Are we keeping you guys from your downtime?
They're like, no, it's fine. And we're like, no, we're going to leave. And they're like, you don't have to leave. And we're like, no, we're going to leave. So you guys
But they also, and the group that we were with was just very much the same way. Once they learned like who we were and we were totally comfortable with it, they'd bring us our last round and we would sit there and chat and whatever. And we were like, please, like, yeah, finish up. We're done. We're not ordering anymore. We don't need your service anymore. Just go. And they were good with that. But it took a good few days for them to get that.
Lance said that's where they were each night too. Yeah, we pretty much ended every night there. I think a couple nights we stayed at Dolce Vita.
And in true Howie Cruise fashion, we closed down the ship every night.
Every single night. Just like we're going to do in 34 days when we go on the Carnival Sunrise, because now it's time to start talking about our next group cruise. So
I bet you like security still talking about us and the group that we were with. They're probably like, those are the late people.
Oh yeah, no. Well, there was one night that I was walking around at 2:00 in the morning, and this one security saw me and said, "Do you need help finding your room?" And I took the hint. And I went back.
No, I was just out for a walk.
Yeah.
No,
I went back, but I can be sure
the ship shuts down
at 2:00 in the morning. We're going to be having some pizza.
So here's a fun little like snippet. I enjoy walking the ship like early hours or late night, especially if I either wake up or I can't sleep. Like I love getting out on the deck at 5 a.m. and watching the sunrise and watching the ship come alive. Like I'm out there when they're still like hosing it down and like whatever, or like just walking around. They're still vacuuming, the crew is vacuuming, everybody's getting ready for the day. And I like watching the ship come alive, or walking out really late and through the promenade when everybody else is like sleeping. There's nobody really out. Like I enjoy that. This ship shut down and there was no doing that.
Well, hold on. There was one late night. Hold on. There was one late night. And we can prove it.
Okay.
We can prove it. Hold on. Remember Rock the Boat?
Here's Rio.
So there was one late night.
That was really fun. That was a really fun deck party. And then also we had, while we were on the ship, they celebrated the ship's 1 year anniversary. It's birthday.
We got to sing happy birthday.
So we sang happy birthday. The captain came out. The crew came out. Everybody had a like a champagne toast. And they did some music and dancing.
There was a lot of champagne.
Or no, is that just the toast? I don't know.
There was a lot of champagne. There was a lot of champagne. I think I had champagne every day.
It was actually the ship, the brand that
they had their own brand of champagne.
Well, no, it was sponsored.
So
that's why they had like the whole, like they had a table out every day. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Fun stuff.
But yeah, no, we're looking forward to the upcoming summer.
I encourage you to try it at least once. You don't have to do the Mediterranean. You don't have to do Australia. You don't have to do Asia. Although Silversea does a really good Asia, I hear. I really want to do Japan that way. So
I love
that. That is how I would love to do that.
I love the cabin. I love the bathroom. I love the lack of crowd. I love the size of the ship. I loved so much of it. And I actually said to the next cruise guy, I said, here's my plan. We're going to take all y'all and we're going to charter the ship.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Could you imagine if all of us got together and took that ship over?
The crew would all quit.
I think we'd give them a heart attack.
No, I think so. No. A lot of the crew are
Sharon C says, could they make a decent dirty martini? Well, you have a problem. You've switched now.
So yes, we did the martini tasting. Every bartender knew. So here's the thing. Any local bar.
See, we were going to shut it down. Now we're going to keep going for hours.
Any local bar here at home, any place I go, any ship I'm on, I've stopped asking. I like a lightly dirty. I'm not filthy like you, Jamie. I like a lightly dirty martini, and it's so hard to get that. It's so hard to get it made perfectly the way that you like it. And can I tell you, there was not one bartender, there was not one server, there's not one person on the ship that didn't make a cocktail explicitly the way that you wanted it, and it was perfect every time, whether you wanted it filthy or whether you wanted it lightly dirty. So yes, the cocktails were absolutely fantastic. And that gin from Monaco, if I can find it in the States, I can't wait to buy it. If not, I'm going to find a way to order it online because I've been looking since I've been home and I can't find it. But I'll say this, Brian's right.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for joining us.
I never liked like a twist before, and now I do. Because again, I like gin, so I really appreciate the flavors of gin, depending on, I'm getting to be like a gin connoisseur here. And I really appreciate now a good lemon twist. And
Lance says a dusty martini.
A dusty martini. I guess, is it really called that? Has anybody ever called that? Or did you come up with that, Lance? Because I am going to use that from now on.
But yeah, so I mean, overall.
I'm reading Kevin's comment. He said, "See, I see Julie in it's Julie Amos, and then I see Kevin's Julie. As soon as I see the word Julie pop up, my eyes go to it."
Overall, it was an amazing cruise. It was fantastic.
I know, Julie's.
I recommend you try it. I recommend you find the time to see if it's for you. Find a way to put it on your schedule, put it on your calendar, plan pretty far out, so that way you can prep for it. But it's no, Lance said he made it up. You coined a phrase.
Okay, so I'm gonna call it.
I'm gonna
now
go
I'm torn. Do I call it the
Lance
martini or the Lance Dusty Martini? Just because you coined it, so I think I have to give you credit.
The Lance,
but the Dusty Martini, I like that. But no, I've been having the twists, except for tonight, which I didn't have one chocolate martini. I did have a really good espresso martini. The cocktails were phenomenal, but this is the just a chocolate martini tonight. So. I don't know.
All right.
What was your? He keeps wanting to wrap it up, and I guess we should. But
no, I want to talk about the Carnival Sunrise.
I want to talk about that too. But I was going to say, what was your favorite? What was your favorite either food or drink? And you can't just say Eagle Rare. Like you can't say.
That's all I drank.
You had a couple, man. No, you actually switched.
I switched from Old Fashions to Manhattans. So we were up at the Salt. We were up at the Salt Bar, and Andy and Julia were up there, and I asked them. I said, because they were mixologists, and I said, you know what? For years I've been ordering Old Fashions because I think they're cool. What's the difference between an Old Fashioned and a Manhattan? So they made them both. They put them both in front of me, and I tasted them both, and I have now switched from Old Fashions to Manhattans.
Yeah,
because it's not as sweet. So. If you don't like sweet,
I don't like sweet.
Order the Manhattan.
That's my problem. That's why. When you ask, did they make a good dirty martini? It's funny because as soon as you say you don't like this, and then when you have a really good bartender that really knows how to balance, but you tell them you don't like certain ingredients, like I hate sweet and sour mix, or sour whatever.
Wendy says that's my drink. A Buffalo Trace Manhattan.
Oh, there you go. I don't like anything too smoky. Oh, we did a mixology class. That was really fun.
Oops, where'd it go? Stop.
Andy and
Foodies is
Andre,
Tangray with a twist of lemon.
We call them Andy, but Andre and Julia did a mixology class, and I was a little worried because when we got there, you don't know what cocktails you're gonna make until you get there. And we showed up, and it turns out it's going to be tequila. To kill you.
Larry, oh my God, my new best daily thing, 10 to 12 Manhattans a day. Larry, that's only going to leave us with like 3 to 5 left on the sunrise. What are we going to do with those other 3 to 5? I don't know.
So I get nervous. I don't really like tequila. I like a margarita in Mexico with a taco. But other than that, and maybe on Cinco de Mayo, but I'm not a big tequila person. And tequila is the spirit of choice. And they walk us through making 3 different cocktails. And you make a full cocktail, and you have your whole bar set up in front of you. So there's like 12 people there, maybe 15 people there. Everybody's got their own setup. So Brian's sitting next to me. I'm sitting there. I got my shaker. I got my stirrer. I got my jigger. We have everything. And they're passing around the bottles, and we're pouring our own cocktail as they're giving us the instructions. So that was really cool. That was really fun. Again,
I got yelled at for making mine too strong.
You did add a little extra splash, and Andre was like, because he warned before, he's like, listen, we're balancing this perfect. And he was right. And what did you say when you tasted mine and you tasted yours?
I didn't like mine.
You said that you added just a splash more, and mine was better because it was perfectly balanced. But what was fun is all these classes, the mixology class, we went to the martini tasting, we did a cooking like little demonstration class where they walked us through.
Stay tuned for the vlogs, guys. You're going to see all of this.
All of that was included. Everything is included. Mm-hmm. So again, if you want that experience, it's definitely not the same experience as you're going to get on a mass market cruise, such as, Norwegian, Carnival, Royal, Celebrity, Princess. It's different.
The fact that everything is included and you don't have to swipe your card for anything. You don't have to. I mean,
yeah.
Who here's a lanyard person? Raise your hand. Say yes in the chat. Say lanyard if you're a lanyard person. We're lanyard people. We always wear our lanyards on the cruises.
We should have had our thing. When you get on the cruise, when you check in,
they give you a wallet.
They hand you a little card carrier. It's like a little wallet, and it has your room key in it, and it has your internet information in it because internet's included as well. Has all your information in it, and then you carry that around because you literally only need your CPAS card to. I know. Sorry,
we brought
to get on and off the ship. That is it.
We brought our lanyards. We were all ready to go. And I go to put my lanyard on the first day, and nobody else was wearing a lanyard.
No, it's not a lanyard. You don't wear your lanyards.
I had to not wear a lanyard for
there's no lanyards on
11 days. It was hard. But
Why?
I didn't
you don't
need
need
a card.
It. You don't need
but
it.
You don't need your card. You don't need
every time you came back to your room, you were running into either your cabin steward or your butler. So
who opened your door for you?
Who opened your door for you, and you didn't need your card then. So it was literally. I absolutely loved having the laundry service available, and then also having the washers and dryers.
That was
a few doors down. That included detergent and included everything, and it was free. They didn't charge you for it.
That was very funny to me. We were on this ultra luxury cruise.
Everyone
down the hall from the
2 ironing boards, 2 irons. It was always packed. That was the place to meet people. The laundry room. Yeah.
Why follow when you can lead?
This is true, but Brian would have been wearing it as a fashion statement. There was no need for it.
I wanted to wear it.
You should have. I don't know.
I wanted to wear it, but I was afraid I would get discovered and thrown overboard. Like, who's this stowaway?
I did ask Brian not to get us kicked off the ship.
And
although if we would have gotten kicked off the ship, a few of the crew would have been kicked off with us. So just saying.
They were good people.
We made a lot of friends. And some of them are even following and friends and in our community group.
So if you see some of them in the Shane, good question.
Great question. Okay.
What perks, if any, did you get from the RCCL status match?
We did. We status matched. We are Diamond on Royal, and we status matched at their middle tier.
Mm-hmm.
So
with the status match that we did, The perks we would have got is if we would have status match.
What's it called?
Venetian Society.
Venetian Society. That's their.
You get a percentage. Program. You get a percentage off of your next cruise booking, and you get free laundry.
You get You get upgraded champagne in your room when you get there. You get free laundry service, which we didn't even take advantage of because it was we didn't really need to, and it was so easy down the hall. I mean, we definitely ironed a lot. Like I ironed your shirt like every day.
I had to wear a shirt every day.
So, but yeah. So and then yeah. I mean, there was a whole list of things, but really everything is included, so it doesn't matter much. So the laundry was nice, and percentage off your next cruise.
Yes, Lance says, and a toast with the officers. Yes. So
yes.
We didn't.
But you know what? Our status didn't go through.
It didn't. So we didn't
on the first day.
We didn't get invited.
We didn't get our invite. That's okay because we were busy doing other stuff. Did I ask? Oh, you didn't answer because you talked about switching to the Manhattan. So I don't know. My favorite thing that I ate on the ship was probably I enjoyed the experience, salt and the hot rock. And I loved the salt kitchen. Like I really did like that atmosphere, but I think that was the atmosphere that made it.
I did like the atmosphere of the salt kitchen. So
it was beautiful. It was just really comfortable.
It was nice.
And beautiful.
I would sit down there, but what I did mostly is I ate before we went there. It wasn't my menu. Oh, hi, Sugar. I think I jumped in before. I didn't say hello to you. Hi, Sugar. How are you?
There was no sexy legs contest.
No, there was no sexy leg. No.
Okay. Oh, this is what I want to say about before. So there's one day where at every cruise, I say I want to go to bingo. Like every cruise. And I haven't gone in years. I just haven't, I don't know. We're always doing other stuff. And we're on this cruise and we had the opportunity. I was like, hey, because it's just so much more relaxing. It's a very relaxed. You don't feel like you're missing anything. There's always time to do everything. And it was one afternoon and I said, right, I'm going to go to bingo. And he's like, all right, I'm going to get pizza. So he's upstairs having pizza. He's like, I'll meet you down there.
And I went back to the pool bar.
So I go down to bingo, but bingo is literally like those, the cards where you slide the things over. So there's no markers, there's no whatever, and you don't buy your cards. It's just bingo. So everybody's playing. So the activities on the ship, trivia, name that tune, bingo, all those things, you didn't pay for bingo. I have heard that some of the Silversea at least cruises do offer a paid for bingo in the casino. That was not on the ship. I didn't see it once. If it happened, I missed it. I apologize. But no, bingo was held in the Panorama Lounge, followed by trivia. Trivia, people could get into teams of any number, whether it was 1 to an infinite number. So it was a little mismatched there. But what did you win? Let's talk about it. Does anybody know? Lance, you know. If you know, you know. You won points.
And at the end of the cruise,
so
kind of like Wheel of Fortune back in the 80s.
Yeah. Remember the wheel would spin and people would pick out what they wanted. What are these points? What are points? And it took us like a good few days to understand, why are people wanting these points? So you gather up your points throughout the cruise. They tie it to your number, and at the end of the cruise, depending on how, 25 points got you a pen. But I don't know, maybe 300 points got you a backpack. I don't know what it was. We actually didn't rack up points. We didn't care about the points, but it was fun. It was fun to participate in some of these events. So anyway, I did bingo. I didn't have to pay for my card. It was fun to play. I didn't win, and I didn't win any points. We did play a couple rounds of trivia.
Lance said we got points from trivia each day, and we turned in at the end of the cruise for hats and bags.
There you go. See, well, we should have traded them in. We should have done that and traded them for hats, because instead we bought the kids hats. $120 later, because they were $60 a hat.
They were expensive hats.
I have to say, I mean, even I swear to God, hand to God, we're in the gift shop and we wanted to bring the boys back their Silversea hats. So we go and we buy the $60 hats. And we get in the elevator and we saw people that we'd run into a bunch of times on the ship. And then they were also in the gift shop. They saw us in there and they walked out and they go, yeah, a bit expensive, huh? And we're like, yeah. And she's like, did you spend all your money? We're like kind of chuckling. And then she said, $60 for a hat. And I was like, yep. I bought 2 of them. She's like, ooh. It was cute. It was funny. I was like, yep, got 2 of them. But there is a lot of onboard credit that comes with booking with Silversea as well. So, there's that benefit as well.
Yeah. So all right. Larry's got a question. Larry wants to know if we booked our flights for Sunrise yet. Yes, we did. It's called. It's called the Buick, and she's gonna fly down 95.
I hope she doesn't fly.
Mm-hmm. Except 95. For not through Virginia.
Not through Virginia.
Not through Virginia. So,
through New Jersey and Florida.
Yeah.
Everywhere in between will be putzing. But yeah, no, we will be hoofing it.
So,
3 kids. So 5 of us. That flights, we said, kids are out of school. We'll take the drive.
So next week, I will be working.
Yeah. What do you guys want? Do you want me to come on with Bri or
Bri is very interested to tell you about some of his favorite parts of carnival ships.
He has a lot. And they're good. He's good. He's good. I think he's good.
So do you guys want to hear?
I'm his mom. So
do you guys want to hear from Bri Jr. next week?
What do you think? Should me and Bri go live, or do we call it a weekend on Father's Day, which Brian will be working? So I love you. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day. She's sending me to work.
All the people who serve as fathers and all the people who are fathers, just in case we're not here. But I don't know. What do you say? Another teaching moment for Bri. There you go. Yes,
Daniel Fields, Buick Airlines.
That's what we're gonna call it, Buick. Maybe we can get sponsored by Buick.
Try. I'm still waiting for the call from Buffalo Trace. Hold on, let me check my phone.
Did you find rubber ducks on Silversea?
No, there were no ducks.
I think I saw one actually.
Did you?
At one point, and it was like across the whatever, and I was whatever, and I thought I actually caught a glimpse of one. I'm not even kidding you. And I was like, that can't be that. But then we were heading somewhere, we were going somewhere, and I didn't go back. But no, we did not see ducks. There was no ducks. And we didn't have any ducks.
Daniel says, I'd like an all kids show. She can interview them. Mom says she votes for Bri. Well, we knew you were going to vote for Bri, Mom. We knew you would. So, all right. Well, stay tuned. Make sure you join the Facebook.
We were just talking about that earlier. Scroll up because that's
Shayna.
Yeah.
So they booked,
Yep.
the hotel for July. Yeah. All right. So stay tuned to the Facebook community group if you're not over there.
Tomorrow we have a call just about that at like 2, just so you know.
Okay. Make sure you join the Facebook community group so that way you find out whether or not it's going to be Brian, Julie next week, or if it's going to be nothing. Yeah. So, and hey, I always tell you guys every week, we want you to bring a friend. We want this community to grow. So next week, here's your assignment. Bring a friend, make Bri feel good. Let's see if we can get them up over 100 people. So, come on and join the live stream next week.
Oh yeah, if we have Bri on, we got to bring people in.
Oh yeah, we got
to do it. All right, maybe we'll
Mary Ellen's
I'll do my thumbnail now instead of the day of. Sorry, guys.
Kevin wants to have all the kids dress up like us.
Well, there isn't going to be school, so actually the kids can stay up. So we can have if Katie and Kev want to make an appearance, but we'll let Bri be the star.
Lance says, "What's a good hotel in Fort Lauderdale? Reach out to us. We'll let you know." But my favorite's
been talking about that a lot lately.
But my favorite's the Embassy Suites. So. Let us know if you need us to book it for you.
It depends on where you're looking for, what you're looking for, and what your priorities are. But we have a lot of info on that. So,
all right. Well, hey, listen. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for talking Silversea with us. Next week, it's back to talking about the group cruises because we've got Sunrise, we've got Navigator, and we've got.
It's going to be a Bri, but yes, our next live where we're together, we definitely are going to bring in.
We've got Sunrise, we've got Navigator, we've got.
We're talking Carnival next week.
We've got MSC Meraviglia.
Ultra.
We've got Star. We even have group rooms on the new Legend of the Seas. So reach out. Let us know.
Be booked on Legend of the Seas. Are we?
We are booked on Legend of the Seas.
I was teasing a little bit.
Maybe for the inaugural. But hey, if you want to join us, let us know. Until then.
Hey, we'll see you on the seas. Cheers.